Yo! Greetings, my fine gentlemen. Human beings of all kinds, we are here, 23rd version of the feedback time. Submit your track in the Discord. I'll give you feedback. Let's get down. Check it out. First track is... we got ZZZZ Faux Rhythm .mp3. This is from the one and only bio of the Sorcerer's Crew. Let's get down. Okay. Very nice way to start off the stream. Cool submission. I'm liking what I'm hearing. Look at that cool outro right there. Okay, very nice. So once again, that was Bio, Sorcerer's Crew, Z's Easy for Rhythm.mp3. This is pretty solid. The beginning kind of sounded weird. It sounded super mono. The song in general is too mono. That's really the main problem that we have here, because if you're listening here and you're looking, the widest part of the drop is when the clap comes. That's when we start getting some width. Otherwise, you can see there's a lot of frequencies building up here, so it's pretty bright in the middle. Basically, all of our basses plus the sub are all in the center, and there's a whole stereo image that you can work with. So definitely start spreading things out left and right. You can parallel process. Watch that video so you can learn how to make things wide and mono at the same time. Get it super loud and clean. That will help. Otherwise, cool sound design. Nice sub. Cool vibes. I like the switch up here in this phrase. That's cool. Honestly, this intro right here sounds like there's a weird filter. That's just kind of odd. That's nice. That's clean. That's a good job, gotta say. Plus, you were loud enough at like -3. Just need some stereo width, dude, and you'll be in for the win. Nice. Up next, J-Web's resubmit yours. Yours wasn't working. Up next is Billy with Operation Earthwire. Okay, let's go.
Intercept the golded message. The golded message. Display the golded message. Fuck! Hold up. Wait a minute.
Damn, Billy. Chill, man. Let's take one breather. Billy, that was mighty grand, quite dapper, sir. Oh, the elegance and class. Just kidding. But that shit was hard, bro. That shit was hard. Super heavy tear out things. You already know what it is. Fat guns. Honestly, man, the sound design, song arrangement, structure, and flow is impeccable. I love it. Mix down is the only thing that really needs work here. If you see when we zoom out, we're bricking, right? This is signs of overcompression. This is signs that we're sending too many signals to the master at the same time. You really want to start bussing your signals separately and creating a template where you can push these sounds super loud, but keep them very clean and preserve your dynamics. It's extremely important. As soon as you do that, everyone's going to freak the fuck out because you are on the top tier level. You just need your mix down to be top tier so that everyone who is so used to clean mix downs respects you and put you at the festivals and get you running. Because this is fire, man. You just have to consistently put out heat, build your brand, and get your mix downs clean. My latest template video includes my template, so that's basically it if you use Ableton. If you don't use Ableton, then use these advanced audio engineering techniques to clean up your sounds. You're pushing everything at a high level, so now you have to do some advanced mixing to clear up some space, basically. Sounds crowded, but it's good. Good job. Okay, that was good. Good job, Billy. Up next, we got Kira, Work in Progress by Sunny D. Kira, WIP. Let's get it.
Sunday.
Now you have something to look forward to after you die.
Okay.
It's a pleasure to meet you. Nice to meet you too. Damn, guess I shouldn't be surprised. I want my notebook. Things got a little complicated. What's the best way to describe these? Juicy.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, same here. A deal. good while it lasted. It's been interesting. When it's your time to die, it will fall on me to write your name in my death note.
Sick. Nice sampling. I must say, cool idea, good theme. You're working out something. I really like the choir. As Lodian said in the chat, the choir sounds, thin by itself, right? You want to thicken it up by adding instruments to support it. Orchestral instruments will help a lot, like strings, like a string ensemble, like deep strings, like cellos, things like that will help significantly. Even pads. As soon as you get those layered up, it'll add more energy so that it will complement the higher energy drop. In the drop, I must say, sick flow. It made me dance. Towards the end, though, when you start playing the sustain really doesn't match this phrase, and the energy starts to get lost in this section. In the second drop, the main bass feels very thin. It just feels like there's a lot of open space to be worked with, and you're not utilizing everything that's there. So I would add more support basses just to thicken up your main bass lead, add some extra like offset basses, and really just create more in the stereo image and in the frequency spectrum. It'll help a lot. It'll make it sound more full. And then, yeah, actually it was loud enough and wide enough, so that's good to see as well. Really just want to work on song structure, really. Good flow though. Stick to that type of flow. Make us bounce. That's good. Just mix everything and balance out your levels. Get good headphones if you don't already have them. That's going to help you with all that. Good job. That's what I like to see. I like the choir. I like the human voices. It makes me happy. Up next, we have Les Reptiles with War Skeletons VIP. Let's get it. Wait, what's this on? Okay. I'll put this up here. And that concludes A Mighty Fine Human Being, Les Reptiles with War Skeletons VIP. It's feedback time. I must say, levels sounded good. Let's check the width real quick, make sure that we're chilling. All right, so levels are good. You can leave it at -7, -6. That's fine. This isn't really a tear out song, so we don't have to push it to -3 or -4. It's not really necessary. This is a cool dubstep song, but at the beginning of this drop here, the main lead is kind of drowned in reverb. So, like, it's losing energy. If you were to parallel process this and keep that dry signal and blend in that reverb signal, that'll add gain and amplitude at the same time. It will add that effect that you want, and then that will be a clean bass lead. That's what you want to do. You don't want to drown it in reverb. Reverb is very sensitive. So if you're using too much reverb or not EQing the reverb, it can land you in a muddy reverb fiesta. You don't want none of that. In your like buildups and stuff, you're creating good energy. Lots of good energy here. I got to compliment you on that. You just have to make sure that when you build such high energy, you have to release it into high energy, and your drops aren't as high energy as your buildups are getting. So that's an easy problem to fix. With this drop, it's not a reverb. There's not too much reverb in this, but the main melodic bass, it sounds lonely by itself, right? It could have extra dubstep basses to be layered on the downbeat or in the offbeat and kind of flow with the melodic element that you have here. Just the melodic bass is just not enough nowadays. Like that could have worked in 2007, 2011, but we've heard so many songs like this that you really want to take it to the next level and layer some mid-range heavy basses with the melodic elements. That'll help a lot. Otherwise, this is a nice song. I like the idea. It's vibes. And I really like the energy that you're building in the build. That's really important. So that's good. Nice. Okay. Up next, we got Supra coming in hot with Underground.wave. Let's run that. So reliable. That is so reliable. Really. Oh, really? Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that second drop was definitely a different level of energy, intensity, and a better mix down compared to the first drop. Like the guns sound brighter, the sustain sounds brighter. In this first drop, it really sounds like the sub is just overpowering the whole mix, and the guns really don't even are like behind the scenes, you know, chilling, just waiting, wanting to get out. So I would fix that definitely. And then overall, I think you have pretty good flow. Like I can tell you have some flow in you. You just want to make sure that when guns are playing this long, it's not usually normal. You want to have like different sounds going back and forth with the guns, or have the guns be a support. Don't play too many guns because the listener's ear will get tired and then it'll just sound too repetitive. And we don't want it to sound like that. Make sure that you clip your sub and your guns together, get them fat, get them loud. Like I said, the flow of the second drop and everything is significantly better. So I would learn from how you did it in this drop and apply those techniques first. That will help. That will help. Oh yeah, and get all reliable sustain. And you can even change the wavetables, make something new, something cool. Good job. Up next, we actually can't play the song. It's a remix. You can resubmit, Buglord, if you like, please. We already played that one. That was a duplicate submission. Up next, we got Kahai with Murky. And let's get it. Welcome to the Drip Dome. We are here. We are here. We did it. Drip on, drip a dome. Hey. Okay, cool. Transition to build.
Gucci, Louis, Louis, Gucci, Louis.
Jesus, man. That was a bit too long right there, man. 5 minutes and 15 seconds. All right. So, to be honest, the only two parts in this song that I enjoyed are like the little beat with the rapping. This is really the only parts of the song that sound clean. These parts are super unnecessary. They would be hard if you had like some vocals playing there, but obviously vocals come in the next phrase. So like these are unnecessary phrases. You don't need them. You don't need this song to be 5 minutes. So you got to make sure you fix the song structure. If we're listening, we'd get, our attention spans are very low. So you have to make sure you're not overextending these things. In this section too, like the buildup starts here, but there's this melodic section, which is another extension before the drop. There's just all kinds of different things. The melodies in here are cool, but you have to work them in a different way. During the drop, your main bass lead, the main gun, is not matching the energy of the buildup. Lots of energy is built up. You have a good transition to the buildup that's really nice. But when we get to the build, that main bass lead is playing a slow pattern, and it's kind of lowering the energy. And that's really the last thing you want. You want to experiment with like call and response, and then also making and utilizing faster lead patterns in conjunction with the slow lead patterns. That's going to keep the energy and keep it moving from phrase to phrase. Because by the time we're all the way over here, dude, it's just super repetitive. It's like you're playing the same thing over and over and over again. So you got to be careful. You have to make sure you're doing call and response to keep us engaged. But you have great fundamentals. You have great bones here. These are easy fixes. Hit us up in the Discord if you need help with any of that. Oh, and like, by the way, like these sections, this is gold. The beats, like making a song with a sick hip hop and trap and then going to a drop. That's always dope. I like that. Up next, we got Spaced Out with Game Over version 4, number 3. Let's go. Introducing the one and only Spaced Out. Let's go. Okay, that's Spaced Out with Game Over version 4. Not number 2, but number 3. Okay, I must say, the intro and everything was sounded really nice. We got here, became very quiet. Like, super quiet. We need to maintain the energy in this section so we can, like, keep the vibes and energy flowing and transition into the drop, right? When we get to this drop, if we zoom out, you can see right away we're entering brick zone. When the waveform looks like this, that means that it's a sign of overcompression. It's a sign that too many of your signals are being sent to the master. And it makes sense because you're playing very loud, tear-outy type sounds, and it gets super distorted. It gets super loud. So you have to make sure you separate all your signals using buses. Watch my template video. It'll get you right. And it'll clean these things up. You have to make sure you have your dynamics because it just sounds like noise. The most important part is call and response. A pre-drop is not a call. A pre-drop is a moment of silence that helps the drop become and sound louder when it hits. When the drop hits, we can't throw the listener in straight to the main riff, the main lead. There has to be a downbeat and something that happens before that response. There should be a call, then a response. If we don't have the call and response and you just throw the bass into us, then it's not going to make us dance and move as much as we should. When you're making the song, the first 8 bars of this might sound good, but once we extend it to 16 or 32 bars for the full drop, not having call and response will stop us from dancing. And then it'll just sound like noise and just loud sounds. And we can't do that. This is dance music. We have to make sure that we maintain rhythm and groove with these extremely loud dubstep basses. You can do it. You just have to practice call and response. Extremely important. And remember, you have to keep dynamics like in mind all the time. Dynamics are when there's a super loud sound and a super soft sound. The difference is dynamic range. That's what we're talking about here. When you do all those things, this will sound significantly cleaner. It'll have higher energy. It'll make people dance more. And most importantly, it'll match the cool intro and breakdown that you already made. Do that. It'll help a lot. And of course, dude, we're in the Discord all the time. Just hit us up. We'll help you out. Next up, we got C80 with Falling. I just grinded and finished the damn track, laughed my ass off. Okay. Oh. Holy shit. That is beautiful. Oh, man. Whew. All right, that was cool. C80, man. This has a lot of potential, dude. Lots of potential. So first off, these vocals and these like flutes and pads are just so luscious and vibey. I love it. The drop here, though, not loud enough, right? We're pulling like -11 LUFS. You can tell it's not loud enough easily, too, by looking at this waveform compared to the second drop. And on the second drop, we're like running -8 LUFS. We have a nice super saw going in, going nice and wavy. It's adding more energy, adding more intensity. We need that type of frequency fill in the first drop. It needs to be thicker and more layered here to match, you know, the energy there. I do like these vibes a lot. These vibes. This cleanliness should be at the beginning. You hear there's phasing going on. You can easily hear it when you compare it to this. You got to be careful. It's lowering the quality of the intro. Most people, if I heard this right away, I'd probably skip the song because it just doesn't sound clean. I would assume the rest of the song was going to be phased out. So you just have to be careful with those things. And then in these sections, like be careful with the brass. There's lots of brass playing. You don't want it to be too crowded. You want things to be clean. You also want to make sure you have enough low end to support everything as well. Make sure your sub is loud, fat, and clean, and then use EQ to bring it into the mix. It's a good job though. Good vibes. I'd like to hear. Up next, we have the one and only Mastodon Chord Master Lodian submitting Flutie. Let's get it.
They say the love's a game. You try to outrun it, try to outgun it. Can't get enough of its touch. I beat the shit with a rush. Don't get ahead of yourself. Wasting my time like a tough. Talk to me, babe. Honestly, I don't trust anyone else. Taking my load on myself. You know I'm going through hell. Look at my face. Every night I'm just crying for help. And now I've been on to nothing. It's a love that's going better than I did. I'm starting it for something. Will you tell me what you want?
I love how you have your own style now, bro.
Come back to me. Please don't leave me. Will you ever come back to me? Please don't leave me. Will you ever come back to me? Please don't leave me.
Yes. Wow. I think this is one of my favorite songs from you now. Oh, that ending though. Man, the cleanliness on this was superior. You are quite elegant and dapper, my sir. I shall make sure you succeed in all your greatest endeavors. Lodian, good job. Flutie, coming in hot, coming in melodic. I love hearing that you have your own style, and I love hearing these clean mix downs. You guys, you know that was loud as shit, but look, we're zooming out. It's not bricked. See this? Perfect example of a clean mix down. Now, we're not saying every sound in here is balanced perfectly and mixed perfectly, but in general, we're looking very good. It's easier to control this way. The build-up right here, with the melody playing, does this happen right here? Yeah, that build-up needs to happen during here because, gosh, the energy of that build-up is so high, and it needs to also be at the beginning. Do that. Oh yeah, the only thing that was like wrong with this, I think, is this vocal. It just sounds so like far behind in the mix. It doesn't sound like it matches the amplitude and energy of the intro. If you do, you'll have to do like multiple racks of parallel processing to get it loud and wide, and you'll use EQ and then start to like put it back into the mix. But you need to do that because a vocal just sounds so weak in this section. It starts to sound better over here, but just make sure the vocal is clean throughout everything. I like this song a lot. It's emotional and it touches my heart. I think it's sick. Good job, dude. Like a boss as always, loading the chord master, coming in with the chords. Up next, we have Anxiety. Oh, Anxiety. With Helpless. Work in progress. Let's get it.
This message is being broadcast by the Department of Defense of the Republic. A paranormal anomaly affecting the entire nation has been detected. For your safety, please carry out the following instructions.
Thunder. All right. This was decent. To be honest, the energy levels in the drop are not that high. The speed and the rhythm of the gun and the main thing is just slow. So it makes this dance halftime. If you're making this in 140, I'm dancing half the speed, which is 70. This is something you want to prevent. We don't make music at 70 or 80 beats per minute anymore. That's the old dubstep. We literally doubled the time and make it at 140, 150 now. And then your buildup should be double that time and going even faster than that. So if you're making this type of music, type of chill music that's slowed down, you have to understand there's more space available. You'll have to start doing different things to keep the listener engaged. So I would work on that. Make sure that your guns are loud, fat, and that you're using faster rhythms combined with the slow rhythms. Now, one of the things I keep talking about is call and response. So we go straight into just the bass pattern. There should be like a boom, boom, bum, 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 bum. There has to be something at the beginning that kind of introduces it, and then you transition to that main lead that's like the majority of the phrase. And then you keep doing that back and forth throughout all the phrases to keep people dancing. Otherwise, like I said earlier, it'll just sound like noise and distortion, and you don't want that to happen. You have to keep things moving, keep people dancing. Work on that, and you'll be leveling up quickly. Promise you. Hit us up in the Discord if you need help with that too. Up next, we have Snasta coming in with First Gun Shit. Ooh, what a dapper title name. Let's run it. Nice. Whew, that was cool. We got some nice distorted basses with some guns. And that was pretty clean, dude. I must say, I didn't even check the loudness levels, but like this part right here that I'm about to show you, this is my favorite section. Just the way it flows into the drop is super heavy. Like the call is like this, right? And then you just unleash fury. This is just fucking sick, dude. -3, -4 lefts, very wide. We're looking good on the mix down. That section that I showed you right there with the sustain sounds significantly cleaner in mix down compared to the beginning. Kind of sounds like there's too much distortion, a little bit more muddiness at the beginning of the and you might want to see if that's different from there, but nevertheless, it sounds sick. It sounds good. It seems like you send a lot of just drops, so I would recommend you start making build-ups, pre-drops that match with this, intros that match with this. Push yourself. At the next level, your drops are getting really good. You need to now compose a full song, get that shit running. I'm happy to hear this, man. It's heavy. I like heavy. Up next, we have. Where is this song? Hyper Invasion. RP. This was skipped. Oh, did you already submit this, dude? Re-downloading it. I think to prevent these issues from happening in the future, we just need to start uploading new songs. Let's go. That was Hyper Invasion coming in hot with the house track Heartbeat. I gotta say, this section right here, when the vocals are prancing, this is my favorite section. It's just good. No, I don't know if this is playing at the beginning. Is it playing right here? Yeah, this is fire. So basically, like, this type of energy needs to extend into the build up here. We don't want to like bring the energy down. You kind of want to keep it going until the drop. And the thing is like the volume levels and the energy levels and intensity sound the same as this. So you kind of want to make the intro sound lower in volume compared to the drop so that the drop has an illusion of being louder and being stronger and higher energy. That main like bass, that's a bass that shouldn't come in right off the rip. That's something that should be held on to for like the second phrase to like progress through the drop and add more energy as it's progressing. If we throw in the highest energy bass lead right at the beginning, it's not going to hit the same. It's not dubstep, it's not tear out, so we don't do it like that. With house, we have to slowly progress into the heaviness. Do those things. It'll help. Use the vocal more, chop it up more, use reverb swells with the vocal, and fill out the empty spaces in your song with the vocals. It'll help a lot. Good job. Up next, we have Darkness working title, Heavy Drum and Bass by Dretex or Dretex or Dretex. Let's get it.
If this is darkness, then where is the light? When you find the light, where is the way? If you find the way, how do you know it's the right path? Does it even matter to search for the light? If this is darkness, then where is the light? When you find the light, where is the way? If you find the way, how do you know it's the right path? Does it even matter?
Okay, I see you. That's pretty dope. That's pretty heavy, not super mega heavy. It sounds kind of muddy. You know, if you were able to separate your frequencies and really make that sub and bass lead together super heavy, it would sound a lot fatter that way. Work on bussing your frequencies. The snare also is almost the same loudness or less loud than the hat, like the ride, which really is a problem. That is very loud. And the snare is like being drowned into those frequencies. So if we can't hear the snare, that's losing energy on the actual rhythm of the song. That's a big issue. You want to fix that too. Make sure you compress that snare. Get it balanced and fat so that it's thick and crisp in the mix. Or layer it. Cool. And that main bass lead, dun 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 dun, sounds thin. You want to really thicken it up, layer it with its own self with extra post-processing, or layer it with a different bass and create something new. That'll help a lot. Good job, dude. Nice energy. I like the build up too. Good build in the energy. Up next, we have, this is him. It's Crouton. Coming in hot with Loudness 1.0. This is the first version of Loudness. Let's see what we got. Oh. What? Wow, what a journey. I wasn't expecting none of that. Okay, I must say, True Tone, this was sick, but this drop here, son, is way harder, way fatter than anything that was playing before it. Like by far. I don't like it sounds like one day you were just chilling and then the next day you woke up and chose violence for the second drop. You know what, dude? I appreciate that. I would honestly use this first drop and like copy it, use it as this first, use this second drop and use it as the first drop, and then add variations to the second one. I like that you bring in some new bass right here, these wigglies, but they're too erratic. They're too crazy for too long. You can have some erraticness, right? Sprinkle in some craziness, but then the majority of it be like clean rhythm, and then you sprinkle in craziness. That'll help a lot more. You just want to be careful. You don't want to make it sound too erratic because that'll take up the whole mix. You are able to balance the mix very well here. You want to learn by how you EQ'd and use the sounds of what sounds are playing, how the sub is working. You see here there's dynamic shifts from loudness to softness. These are really important. This sounds clean, and I would study this so you can learn how to do more like that in the future. Add some vocals too in the intro. It gets pretty boring just hearing that synth. We need something to keep the energy, something fast, or a vocal to add some feeling and emotion. During the first drop, the main synth is just too loud. Use EQ, filter it in, make sure that it sits and is balanced with the other sounds. Otherwise, good job, dude. Not too shabby. Up next, we have a submission by Ikaiju called Finding You, Work in Progress. Let's get it.
I'm trying so hard to reach back to you, but I don't know where to start. I'm trying so hard to hide up the feelings I would like to impart.
Bop. Okay, that was the submission by Ikaiju called Finding You. Okay, so there's a couple things here. First thing I want to say is I'm loving the vibes and serenity and emotion that I'm getting from here. Just simply beautiful, right? Okay, right? During this pre-drop, my head is bopping like this. right? It's bopping half time to a 2-step rhythm. Okay? My head is not going 4 to the floor rhythm. So when you bring this drop in and it goes straight to 4 to the floor, that's an abrupt switch in rhythm and flow, and that just can't happen, right? If we were to play this in the club and we did this to the dance floor, it would just completely change up the energy, and not in a good way. It would make people stop and have to reconfigure their dancing. And you don't want to do that. You want to keep people dancing so that they get lost in the sound. You want to either restructure your intro to match the 4 to the floor fast pace rhythm, or you want to restructure your drop to match the halftime, more dubstep future bass rhythm. That's going to make a huge difference in all this. Sounds like you have sound design skills, mix down skills, so you can start that fairly easy. The beginning is very quiet. Use compression. Make sure that this is balanced with the other sounds. You don't want it to be too quiet at the beginning. Otherwise, not too shabby. Nice vocals, man. Up next, we got Secrets by WOAH Music. WOAH Music. Let's get it. Chords though. Oh man, don't touch me. Don't touch my soul like this, man. Damn. Oh my god, this needs vocals so bad. There they are.
Just what I'm thinking. You think it's hard to see behind my smile. I'll say whatever you want. Let you walk into my heart if you want to. You can ask me anything, no walls between us, ain't no mask. I'ma tell you all my secrets. No, no, no.
that ending though. That was emotional. Beautiful. Those luscious, dreamy chords. Exquisite. Oh gosh. Yeah, super Porter vibes, super festival vibes, right? Oh gosh, amazing. So the vocals, I was like begging for vocals until they came in right here, right? Please add the vocals to start coming in sooner in the song, right? When we hear these chords, it's like there's so many songs that have chords like this, right? So in this section, it's super empty. Like you adding those vocals in these sections will make these parts unique and it'll make it your own rather than sounding like just a generic piano loop, right? It's beautiful and luscious, and the dynamics, like from going loud to this dynamic of soft, we got to keep that, right? The vocals should slowly progress in, but you want to make sure that the vocals are being used as an instrument here. They're playing here, but they're not loud enough. They're not wide enough. They're not thick enough. There's not enough reverb. They sound very thin, very lost in the mix. Use parallel processing to keep your dry signal, introduce a wet signal, and start adding gain and amplitude that way. And then use delay in creative ways so that you can extend the end of her phrases so that it can fill the open space afterwards. Do that and make sure it's all throughout the drop, because the theme of this is secrets. We need to make sure that theme is hitting hard. It's a piece of art, man. I love this. This is great. Good music. Makes me happy. Good job. Up next, we have Chronolite with Insurgents Work in Progress. And let's get it. That's a rhythm, man. That's a rhythm time. Nice. Ooh, that's Chronolite with Insurgents Work in Progress. This is a rhythm function, and I must say, you're slaying the rhythm times. There are some problems with the mixdown, though. Like, we're loud enough, and that's all cool, but the main rhythm bass is overpowering in the mix. It's really distorted and just taking up everything, right? When the main thing of this bass music should be powerful, right? It sounds like the sub is almost being crowded with the bass, when really these signals should be separate. The sub should be fat on its own, and then that rhythm thing should be just sitting on top. They have to live in harmony together. It really does sound like it's crowded. So just make sure you're bussing properly, sending your frequencies into the right direction so that you can prevent mixing issues like that. Get that sub to be at least balanced or the star of the show. It'll help a lot. The rhythm pattern plays the same throughout this whole thing. So I don't know, man. I would really recommend you try to switch up the variation so that people don't get bored. Rhythm isn't a new thing anymore. This old school rhythm isn't a new thing. So people's attention is just lower now, and we get kind of bored just listening to the same rhythm over and over again. I hear a lot of people submit new types of rhythm that have a lot of call and response, a lot of changes and variation. So I suggest you start doing those things so that you can compete with all the music that's out there. Each day that goes by, more people are learning how to use Ableton, and the music is just getting cooler and better. We just got to keep pushing the envelope. Otherwise, good job. I like it. Makes me want to dance. When you hear that rhythm in the club, you just feel that bass. You just want to dance. Up next, we got Born Sinners with no vocal instrumental. This is by Leatherface. What is this? Instrumental? Okay. All right. So it looks like a house song. All right. We good. H2O. Hey, hey. Let's go. Good transition right there. Nice. That's what I'm talking about. Outro glory. Okay. This was cool. We got some bass house, electro house type things going on here. I'm really happy to hear that we're going 4 to the floor. We're even switching it up like 2-step over here. You know what I'm saying? I pop shit, and then we get back like during the drop. Kind of go back to the two-step vibe, and we transition back to 4 to the floor with cleanliness. Things like this is what I like to see, right? This is creative. This is nice. Also, all the phrases are different. Right? We have different bass planes and all the phrases. It keeps us engaged. Most importantly, things are clean. So when the basses start coming in here, you can hear that there's still space available. Everything has room. Very clean. Great use of dynamics. That is important. That's what makes us dance and adds that psychedelic effect. So that's great. I'm really, one of the main things I was going to say is we need vocals, but obviously you already have vocals in the works. So that's perfect. The only other thing is like this section, like the that sound is pretty like excessive. It sounds like it's taking up a lot of the mix. Maybe I would just EQ it a little bit, take out some of the muddiness if it has any, and just make sure that it blends in with the vocal, because it sounds a little too much in some of the sections. It's playing throughout a lot of the song too. So that's really the only thing I would look into. Otherwise, this is good. Good job. House times. Up next, we got Aokame or Aokamai with Lil Bit O Bass, number 2. Not number 1, we got number 2. Let's get it.
Altered state of consciousness. Major psychedelic drugs include mescaline, LSD, psilocybin, and DMT. Studies show that psychedelics are physiologically safe.
Kill 'em with a little bit of bass.
Kill 'em with a little bit of bass.
Kill 'em with a little bit of bass.
We come there with a big thing vibe.
Big man thing, run it up like.
Hey, and that's Little Bit O Bass. Okay, nice. By Aokame. This is pretty cool. I must say the sub sounds a little bit too distorted. It's taking up a lot of the mix. Starts to sound better once it starts to like auto pan and have the LFO start affect it. Then it starts to sound like things are getting cleaner. So I would just really balance out that sub to make sure it's not taking over everything. In this section, it gets a little bit cleaner. So it's really just a sub playing and then like percussive elements in the background. There's really not much going on here. I would really try to make a main synth lead or make something that complements this sub so that it sounds heavier and it doesn't just sound like there's white noise and percussive elements playing in the background of the sub. Like those don't sound like synth leads, or they don't sound like melodic elements that bring emotion or bring rhythmic. And then these sections were just hats. Like it just sounds like you got lazy here and didn't put anything. So just like fill out these sections. There shouldn't be open space like this in the middle of a song unless you're doing it really creatively. But in this case, it's a pretty long section of just hi-hats, so it doesn't sound normal. I'd fix things like that. Make a big difference. It'll be dope. All right, cool. So next. Okay, so it looks like there's 2 submissions from Glocks and Techs. We can play one of them. Which one would you like to play? While we wait for you, we'll go ahead and play this one by Fear Unknown, Lucid. These vibes are immaculate. Dude, quite dapper, I may say. Exquisite, extravagant. Oh, that was nice. All right, so no vocals yet. That's crazy. Once these vocals are added with Veronica Eileen, I'm sure this is going to be a fat banger. It already is a fat banger. We have very heavy, emotional, atmospheric vibes going on. As Lodi in the Chordmaster says, hopeful, antagonizing, fearless. These are the key words that we are feeling during these breakdowns. If I was at the festival and I felt this, you already know I would be feeling some type of way. That's good. So the main thing here that needs to be adjusted is the mix down, right? The sound design, song arrangement, everything, color response, everything's beautiful in here, but mix down is not. When we zoom out, you can see that it's a complete brick right here. It sounds also very crowded during the drop. It doesn't sound like things have enough space. It sounds like the sounds are competing for space. That's the last thing you want. You can really fix these issues with, advanced busing. You want to send your frequencies to separate buses so that they can all be separated before you send it to the master. And you can make things very loud and clean that way. As soon as you do that, this will sound extremely professional and just be a festival banger. If we play this on really loud speakers, it would sound a little bit more distorted than it would on our headphones. So you want to keep that in mind. You want it to sound as clean as possible. But good job. What I like to see. Good vibes, good emotion. Loving it. My latest template video has an Ableton template that will have all the buses routed automatically and stuff. So you can watch that video too to make it. It'll be cool. If you need. Good job. Up next, we have Macro coming in hot with Underground at 140 beats per minute in D minor, trap inspo, work in progress. Let's get it. Oops. Trap inspo. Drip minor.
Straight from the underground. Underground. From the underground.
Nice. I see you. That's Macro coming in hot with the Underground. This is pretty sick. Sick flow, sick rhythm. I like the vocals. The vocals is really just leaning it, right? Underground is keeping the energy. I really like that. So in this section, right, we start to add like extra layers and it starts to sound thicker. It feels like all the space is utilized correctly. All the frequency spectrum is utilized, right? In the first drop, it doesn't sound like that. It sounds like the main bass is kind of behind the scenes. I would really recommend trying to get this type of energy with this section as well. That should be fairly simple. But also in this section, in this phrase, you have downbeats and like a call that leads to the response.
Underground.
That adds so much more like just vibe and energy. And I really would suggest doing that type of call and response in these sections too. It would just really pump it up and add more energy to the drop. Because when it builds up and this comes, it's not super high energy. It's just like the same energy as the build up. But you could go super hard with that. That would be sick. Man, I just love how you transition from like regular basses until it starts to get like dirtier over time. That's fire. Good job. Sick. Drip minor. Once again. Oh yeah, and mixdown's clean. You have it loud enough and wide enough. So love to see it. All right. Last but not least, we have Glocks and Techs coming in with the submission called Time to Die VIP. Let's get it. Let's go.
One, two, three, go. Three, go. One, two, three, go.
Hey. Nice. That was cool. All right. Glocks and Techs with Time to Die VIP. That was sick. High energy. That's what I'm talking about. There are some things that I would definitely fix, and there are some things that are kind of sound weird to me. First off, though, like the call and response that you have during these sections, for example, super high energy. Just fucking crazy. That's the type of stuff I like to do, right? And if you see here visually, you can see we're going from loud to like quiet, and we're having these, dramatic dynamic shifts, which is really helping carry the song along, carry the phrase along really good. Whenever the drop ends and we get into like this breakdown section and these drums, the timing of everything doesn't feel right at all. The drums start to like build up faster than it feels like they should. And it just doesn't feel like when this drop ends, it transitions smoothly into this breakdown. Kind of just like randomly is thrown in. So I don't know. I would really try to fix these things up and clean it up just so that the quality of the intro and build up matches the insane quality of these drops. The drops fire. The only thing though in the drop though is the sub sounds significantly more powerful and louder than everything else. It sounds like it's the star of the show and the other sounds are like kind of hidden behind it. I'd really try to balance out the sub with the other sounds so that the sub isn't overpowering anything. If I did a car test with this song with my sub in the car, it might sound a lot different. So yeah, I would just check car tests and stuff. But dude, this is fire. Heavy energy. I love to see it. Damn, you guys submitted some heat today. Thank you all for joining. I love doing these streams and hearing hot fire. You guys join my Discord if you want to chill with me, learn from others. That's what we do here. Have a good day, guys. Stay fresh, keep it real, and I'll see you next week. Oh, wait, hold up. There's a remix competition tomorrow on Twitch. So be there. You guys can vote for the best ones, and you can submit today. Today's the last day of the deadline. So, all right. Peace out. Later.